Hey, Liz, how's it going? Hey, Tina. Holla. How's it going? Tonight we have our featured song, Karen White. We are Superwomen. Oh, wow. Thanks, Liz. It's going great. Love that song. Yes. Yes. And I think it's a great reminder to each of us. We can't do it all the time. We have to take that moment and stop. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Tina, I can imagine you out there dancing. And Liz and I will be over on the sidelines kind of rocking our head. Yes. Remember we tried to do some type of crazy dance. We just gave up and sat on the sideline. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. This week has been such a great back down memory lane moment with all the music that the girls have came up with, and the songs have been just so in sync with our topics. All right. Oh, okay. Tell me something, guys. Can you see the little flowers and all the little artwork all around the frame of the scene of our little camera? I'm just wondering if it's showing up on the opposite end. Good, cool. All right. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. I'm so happy that you are here. Hey Shannon, thanks for joining us. All right, ladies, we are getting ready to get into some in-depth discussion tonight. And so, oh, hi Spurgeon, how are you? Stay on. We want to hear from you. Love your scene. Thanks so much. The girls had to change phones. Hi, sweetie. For those who are just joining, I see a couple of people from Charleston, a couple of friends of mine. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone that's here in Columbia. I haven't seen my Alabama family and friends, but I do expect for them to pop in as well. Just want to first introduce myself. I am Juanita McDonald with Rediscover Me. And Rediscover Me is designed to help women rediscover the me that she wants to be. We stand on the 3 pillars: lost identity plus lost self-esteem equals lost purpose and direction. And I am doing this challenge, which I have been doing all week long. We're still going to go forth with tomorrow night as well. Saturday and Sunday may be up in the clouds as well. And Spurgeon, I hope you're taking care of yourself in Charleston, getting out and staying in a safe location. With everything that we're doing, I decided to take this little challenge, and that challenge was to stretch myself a little bit and go a little bit beyond what I normally would do. And so that's coming on, and give you an opportunity to see what we do in our workshops and in our with my speaking engagements and all the things that we talk about, and all of it centers around personal development for women. And so we take interesting topics and recreate them to center around exercises that help us, that stimulate the woman. Now basically is what it all sums down to, and help you to think about this thing that I call the mental allegory. And so with that being said, I want to give you a little bit of a recap of what we did yesterday. We had we actually focused on where were we at? We had mirror, mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror, what do you see? And we actually touched bases with Michael Jackson. That was our song, Man in the Mirror. Now, hey, Landria. Now, we do apologize for all the issues that was going on. For some reason, technical difficulty, my phone just crashed. And so we tried to keep everything going, but we did have a great discussion before all of the issues. And so the 3 points that we took away, or should have taken away, hey love, was self-reflection. Focus on the inner person. Focus on that inner person, who you are, who you want to be, the things that you want to accomplish. Great. Remember what used to make you happy. Well, who was that woman before? Who was the woman before all of the titles? Who you were? What did you used to do? What made you happy? How did you, as I told you, I used to climb trees with my uncles on our family land. I thought I could do everything that they could do. Those were fun times for me. I'm still competitive from that perspective. And make peace with your past. Whatever went wrong, because remember, the primary point that we obtained from that discussion was that by the time we become adults, we have accumulated a ton of baggage. We have accumulated major issues, which came from the bag lady session. By the time we become adults, there's a lot of issues that we're carrying around, we're bringing forth. And so you have the opportunity to redevelop or rediscover the person that you want to be. And so tonight's topic is going to be on, as you just heard from our song featured by Miss Karen White, Superwoman, the Superwoman Syndrome, the Superwoman Syndrome. So before I go in with my first question, let me give you the definition so you know what we're talking about. The Superwoman Syndrome, and if you're going to see me with my head down at times, I take notes, as you already know. I like to make certain that I do a little bit of a research. And so the definition for the Superwoman Syndrome is a range of physical, psychological, and interpersonal stress symptoms experienced by a woman who attempts to perform perfectly in multiple and conflicting roles or goes overboard in one role. Let me say that again. A range of physical, psychological, and interpersonal stress symptoms experienced by a woman who attempts to perform perfectly in multiple or conflicting roles and goes overboard in one role. So think about yourself. Think about how you are, what makes you tick, as they say, and the symptoms that they gave out, and they stated is, if you can identify to any of these how many of them? There's about 10 questions. If you can identify with any of these, then you are classified as a superwoman. If you can identify with the Superwoman Syndrome, if you feel the need to do it all, if you compete against yourself, do you compete against yourself? If you rarely say no to others, Tina Torres, I'm calling you out on this one. Yes, Spurgeon, it definitely does. All right, Angie in the house, Jessica. If you take more and more responsibility, Tina Torres. I guess it's gonna be a Tina Torres night. Juanita McDonald and Tina Torres night. Let me put it like that. If you rarely feel a strong sense of accomplishment, if you if you constantly feel overwhelmed, if you feel the need to be the perfect mother, wife, daughter, and last, if you feel like you want to be everything to everybody, that's all of us. That is us. Tell me. Yes, Tina, that's a woman. We feel like that last one just summed it all up. We feel like we have to be everything for everybody. So everybody that is just joining in, I see a lot of people have popped in. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tonight's topic is on the Superwoman Syndrome. And so what we're doing is I just gave, hey Tiffany, I just outlined research that was done, which showed the areas that we as women fall into that may classify us as that Superwoman Syndrome, or in that Superwoman Syndrome. And so when you think about it, and based off of these questions, that is every last woman on this page, because we try to do it all. It has to be done our way. We are a perfectionist. Just think about it. How many times you get irritated when people don't line up the forks just right? Yes, Elizabeth. Liz say add her name to that syndrome. Gotta learn to use the word no. Yes, Tina just did. She put out a post not too long ago, and she said no more. She has her grandbaby. She wants to spend time. There's things that she want to do, and she said no more. From now on, the word that she's going to use is no. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true, Spurgeon. Hey, cuz, how are you? And you know what is so crazy is we don't realize that we are that person. I'm serious. We do not realize that we fall into that category. Tina said, no. I love it. I love it. That is so cool. But now let's think about this. Let's think about this syndrome that we all fall into. What is the one thing that, what is that button that pushes you to want to be? What is the button that pushes you to want to be that perfectionist? That individual that has to have everything, all the I's dotted, T's crossed, that perfect person. Who are you presenting that perfect person to? Why do we have to be that person, and who are you presenting that person to? Let's think about that. Tell me what you think. And trust me, I've had these I have a few these same conversations with my daughters before we ever come in and I start talking, because I like to try to get into their head and find out what made them tick and why they did what they did. And I can definitely tell you while you're thinking or typing, when I was young and a young mom, I looked at what my family was not able to have and the struggles my mother had went through. And so I worked my butt off like crazy because I wanted my children to have the things that we could not even afford. I wanted to give them everything. And so to me, I think that perfectionist role of mom, with that title, Juanita McDonald, mom of so and so and so and so, and just trying to push them to be the best, do the best. And then when you start pushing them to be the best, guess who else has to be better than the best? So, we're going through just trying to paint that big old picture of perfection. But guess what? There are no perfect people. There are no perfect people in this world. But I didn't know that at the time. So what about you? What was those pushing moments? I see my cousin Margaret Ann is on here. So what was those? Thank you for the hearts, ladies. What was those pushing buttons that made you feel like you had to be in that perfect role, through that perfect woman syndrome? What put you in that category? Tell me what's going on. And while you're looking at that, through my little research, what I came up with is superwomen always set standards that are unattainable. Unnaturally high, or beyond reach or reason. They measure self-worth entirely in terms of productivity. Miss Copeland said there's no perfect people. Yes, we are, but we didn't. But based off of this list, Miss Copeland, we didn't realize that. We didn't know it at all. We thought we were like on this level here. But then when we delve into it, we're messed up women stuck in that Superwoman Syndrome. Yes, very unrealistic. But superwomen measure self-worth entirely in the terms of productivity and tangible accomplishments. Unfortunately, by doing so, these superwomen are making life much more stressful and losing out on its many joys. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Jessica. Jessica said, living up to my mom's standards or trying to be the person she used to brag about. All right, daughters, how many of you feel the same way? I know Liz has a phenomenal mom. I tried to take her, and I can see that. I can definitely see that. We have that. We have that. That's who we were conditioned by, our moms. And Tamika says, a measure of being and doing better than my last mistake or missed opportunity. Ooh, that's pretty deep. How many feel the same way? Missed opportunities, mistakes and missed opportunities. You keep setting the bar. Every time you miss the mark, you set the bar a little bit higher and a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Now I'm going to piggyback off of Jessica for a moment before we tap into Mika, because of the fact that I think, Barbara, I do think my mom is changing. Yeah, I think because that is the first person that we get to know who shows us what a woman is. This is how we feel that we're supposed to be, or we project that imagery from that particular person because that is the closest thing and we can relate to them, and not knowing, because I know that with the women that I grew up with, they were strong, abundantly strong women, and I couldn't figure out how could they be so strong in going through all of these things, and trying to keep the family together and keep all the bills paid and work the job, and and then you have to still turn around and be pleasing everybody, making certain all their happiness, and for me, I used to always remember the women in the kitchen. I don't know about you guys, but the women were always in the kitchen in my family, and they are phenomenal cooks. Now, don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal cooks, kept a clean house, they really set the bar. But why were we always in the kitchen? I don't understand it, how my family, why we were always in the kitchen. But and it was, and I know this, the statement that was always used was the best way to a man's heart was, and was from the kitchen, and so I guess, I don't know, y'all correct me. This is just my little, all of a sudden, analysis of what I think might have been the situation. I don't know. But our mothers, I believe, was the primary person that we seen that projected the imagery. And so we grew up trying to be identical to them. Women in the kitchen, yes, they did it all with no complaints. No complaints whatsoever. And I don't know about you, Liz, but I don't recall hearing my mom, well, I did hear my mom later on in life, but when I was growing up, I don't recall hearing her saying, I'm tired. I don't like this. Why do I have to settle for this? You know, did you guys hear that from your mom? Because I don't recall that from my mother. That was the best time. Of course, Spurgeon, that would be the best time for you. You know, so, but that was what I would think. That's what I'm thinking, you know. I don't recall them ever being tired, being stressed out, or just saying it's too much. I do remember that at one point in time, and I'm a 60s baby, whenever a woman became overwhelmed or became stressed, the husband would just put her away into an asylum. You know, she was put away, and you know, and they just, and the statement would be, she's going, you know, she went to have a rest. You know, not realizing that she's totally and completely depressed. She has lost all of her self-esteem. She doesn't know who she is. She just became so overwhelmed and exhausted and wore down to all of her strength is taken from her rather. And so now let's equate that with today. Where are we at today? Are we still trying to uphold those same standards? Are we still trying to be our mom in the kitchen, smiling, happy, with the little apron on, greeting the husband, taking the dinner to his chair or the table, serving him? Are we still there? Or have we progressed? When I say are we still there, or have we progressed? Has what we do now transpired into another form of being in the kitchen? Is what we're doing now transpired to another form? Because now we classify ourselves as the liberated woman, but based off of all of the, hey guys that are just joining, my God, yes, Barbara said yes. Everything that the Superwoman Syndrome classifies, and for those that are joining us, we are talking about the Superwoman Syndrome. And so the list classifies that if you can identify with the Superwoman, feel the need to do it all, compete against yourself, rarely say no, take more and more responsibility, feel a strong sense of accomplishment, rarely feel a strong sense of accomplishment, constantly feel overwhelmed and feel the need to be perfect, wife, mother, daughter, and want to do everything for everybody. You know, if you are falling into that category, then yes, you are there. And so it's like we have transferred from being the way the women of old to our form or our mental classification of what that progressed woman is. And so now when you think about it, the progressed woman, she holds down a job or career. She has a career. She's generally sitting in some high position, management, upper level management, VP, CEO. Even though we're tapping at that door, is still sitting at about what, 4%, 3%. Somebody check me on those numbers, but 1%. We're still trying to get through that glass ceiling in the CEO position. We're still trying to get through those. So if we are trying to do all of those things, as well as hold the house down, in position for all the activities of the children, what happens? What happens when we fall short? The cooking sometimes. We don't have the family at the table eating when dad get to the home. Yeah, Liz, kids eat, mom. Yeah, daddy first, kids come back in, house clean, everything is in order, ready for him. So, when we get to that, when do we really, overcome? When do we really rise up? Or when do we ever, get tired and then realize that that's too much? What is your timeout moment? Let me ask that question. What is your timeout moment? When do you just say enough is enough? And I don't know when. How Barbara says, how can you change when you have grew up all your life like that? Barbara, it's called taking back your control. Taking back and using the word that we just said about Tina Torres. No. Elizabeth Hall. No. Finding your voice. That's the way a lot of for men got to think good for a partner. And yes, Spurgeon, exactly. Men do, and I'm not saying, and I'm not throwing it at you. Barbara Baker, I need help on that part. Hey, Margie. Yes, that word no. That word, and you know what? Stand in that mirror. You see Tina saying no, 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 no. Stand in that mirror and say it and repeat it until it sinks in. Because it's okay to say no. The world is not going to fall. And I'm going to tell you something else. Think about it from this perspective. God put a survival mechanism in each and every one of us. If you tell an individual, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I can't do it. My time does not permit. You actually don't even have to give an explanation why your word is no. Just, I'm afraid not. Or, that doesn't fit my agenda. You don't even have to give an explanation. Just say no. And leave it at that. The world will not end. The person will not die. They will find a solution to the problem, because the other night I talked about transferable baggage. What an individual does is that when you have a problem or I have a problem, we think about that problem, but we feel better once we talk to someone about that problem. So if it's somebody that's very close to us, then most likely it's going to be somebody that we know is going to help us with that problem. So when you communicate with that individual, then that individual picks up your problem and finds a solution to your problem. And so with that being said, you have just transferred your baggage over to them and they're carrying it. So as women, we sit in a position to where everybody comes directly to the heart of the kitchen, to the heart of that woman. And, we get it from the children. We get it from, well, if you were like me with grandchildren, get it from the grandchildren, get it from the mate. You get it from the job. You get, so everybody's coming to you with their baggage to transfer it to you and then we pick it up and we find a solution for it. And then after everything is over with, we're stressed out and they are feeling footloose, fancy free, and the weight of the world is off their shoulder. You have to think about yourself. Now, also to add to that, during my research today, one of the articles stated that the African American woman body breaks down faster than the Caucasian woman during the Superwoman Syndrome. Now, even though I'm saying this and I'm stating what the article said, I do not have data. I do not know what all of it breaks down to, and as you and I both know, statistics can be manipulated, based on what the solution that we're trying to find. So it all depends based on how you structure a question. And so I say that to say, if that is the case, then and you having these individuals who are transferring their issues and transferring their problems and adding all this extra to you, then our features begin to sag. We start having heart problems. We start having high blood pressure issues. The health goes totally and completely down because we failed to use that word no. Is this helping anybody out there? Let me know. Tell me if I'm saying anything right. Now, the other thing that I found, the reason why we focus on the Superwoman Syndrome or trying to be that Superwoman is that women want to be the good little girl A woman wants to be the good little girl. What do you think about that? It also states that women look to please everyone. Is that correct? It says women look to have a feeling of being able to do it all. Yes, you are correct with what you're saying. Thank you, Liz. And women are looking for a feeling of accomplishment, and women are in this state because of low self-esteem. It makes you feel better because you're suffering from low self-esteem. To me, I was, and I think for me, all the things that I was doing was based off of, I equated it with love, showing my love to my family, showing my love for the things that I wanted to have. Yes, it's helping me a lot. I got to learn to say no. Yes, you do, Barbara, and you can do it. I feel like a little cheerleader. You can do it. But yes, for me, I would equate Superwoman with connecting with my family, and the things that I did. I wouldn't say that I would change a lot of it, and I really wouldn't. I don't think I would change a whole lot because I enjoyed the things that I did for them, and I enjoyed the relationship we had. But I would. The things I did for my children, I wouldn't change. The things taking more personal time for me, I would have done that. Because when I look back over it, I see where some areas that I did fall short, and some areas that I should have had just stepped back and just said, no, I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on, doing the things that I'm trying to do now, I guess is the word. Because looking at it, when you first start out, it's like, I don't know if you felt this way, but I felt like time was just rolling real fast, and I just had to do everything at one time, and just trying to hold up all those balls and not drop one. But actuality, anytime you try to hold a ball, you're going to drop something. You might get one, but you're going to drop everything else. And so that's what was happening. And if last night when we talked, I shared with everyone about my daughter when she first began to be the wife. After she got married, had her son, her first child, and she was on a military ship. And in the military, you have to be, assigned to a ship for a certain amount of time. And so basically, she was trying to be working 16-hour shifts on a ship, and had a newborn baby and a husband. And she was just, and one night she was just so overwhelmed. And we were, I want to say it was about 11, 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. She was headed to work. And, and she just had that breakdown moment of just saying, Mom, I'm just trying to do it like you did, like you do. And my heart just broke because I was thinking, oh, I have created this imagery of a perfect world. And even when she had an issue that needed to be settled, and she tell me, I'll look around, I'll fix the problem. Going back to what I was saying, transferable baggage. I'll fix the problem, and the next thing out of her mouth will be, Mom, I really didn't want you to fix the problem. I just wanted you to hear what I had. I just needed to talk it out. But I just went into mom mode and fixed the problem, not realizing that I'm trying to be Superwoman. I'm sorry, y'all. I as I'm remembering this, it's like, wow, you did that. You did that. And I should not have done that. But that's what we do. That's what we do. And our primary focus is to, love. Is to love. And sometimes our love goes overboard. So tell me about you guys. We're down to we still have a lot of time. We're down to a couple more things that I wanted to touch bases on. So tell me about you. What areas that you, Renee, helpers. Yeah, trying to help everybody. Is that what you're saying, Renee? But where are you at as far as with the things that with your family, with all the responsibilities that you have in your day-to-day structure. And when you look at your pattern, think about this. How does your day go? How does it start? And does each day fall into the same category of doing the same thing and supporting the same people? Never, the routine very rarely change. As her daughter, my mom decided that her children had to come first. She allowed us to become our identity. Then she decided to go back to school. She came to her children and asked permission. Good Lord, Mika, did you write a book? Recognize she could move forward without her. Yeah, and I valued it. And I think that's because we sort of, my daughters and I sort of, my daughter and I grew up together. And we've had that great friendship along with mother-daughter relationship. And to me, it's something that's very rare. I can personally say I've seen it in my dear friend Elizabeth with her daughter Ebony, and I've seen it with Tina Torres and her daughters. and even with the messages that she posts, you could just hear and see the love in the relationship, and you can see that it goes beyond it goes beyond that biological format. So but yes, now before I get into the remainder of my topic, I want to point out something. I read an article and I don't know exactly where I put it, which one it was, but basically I think it was in the book. It was the research of Ebony magazine, and they did, when they broke everything down based off of the Superwoman Syndrome, they pointed out how African American women automatically go into a form of depression, that we all suffer severely from a form of depression. So chime in with me on that one, ladies. What do you think? Are we pushing ourselves so intensely that we suffer drastically from depression? And now I can definitely say I'm in that number. You know, I can see where I did, or I still can, you know, if it's so intense. But I do see that. Jessica Jeter says absolutely yes. Yeah, I remember telling someone at one of my physicians, and that little stupid checkoff box that said, you know, do you suffer from any form of depression? And I'm looking at him like, this is the OBGYN, and you asking women, do they suffer from depression? Are you real? Are you real? We all do. What's wrong? So I thought that was stupid. That was just me. But yeah. And now the thing that the other thing that, let me see, Barbara says yes, we have. Yeah. So what do we do to offset that? If we, because of the way that we project the imagery of womanhood, then how do we overcome this? How do we keep from going to that level? What do you do presently to keep your momentum, your spirit, you know, and before, let me throw my little rules or regulations or stipulations out there before you guys answer. I always ask women, I always put a stipulation on women on what you cannot talk about. And as I'm asking you these questions, I can identify with each of you. Yeah, Angela, you know, when you talk to us, or you input information, I'll need you to not attach the husband or the mate, a partner. I need you not to attach God, you know, and I'm not saying we're not being Christian, because all of us are, but I want you to focus on yourself. You know, I want you to look at yourself when I'm asking you, how can you and I, how can we focus, how can we change and make certain that we are not being caught up in a form of depression if we are capped into the Superwoman Syndrome? You know, what can we do? what works best for you. How is that, is it a walk? Do you take walks whenever you feel like you're beginning to be overwhelmed? Do you take a walk? Do you take a trip? That can get kind of expensive, but but then there are some neat locations that you can take a little hour getaway right here in the state of South Carolina, and it's very economical. Gas, what is it? A tank of gas. Do you read? Do you find that little corner and read, or what best works for you when you feel like that? Can you tell that you are developing a depressed state, that you're expanding, hyperventilating, things are just too much, you want to explode, you want to cry, you're wondering if anybody can hear you? Do you always have to get it right? Do you have to help everybody? Do you have to hold everything up? Where are you? Tell me, where are you? And please understand, all the ladies that are here, we're all joining in. We're looking for solutions. We're looking to create a format to where we can actually talk and help strengthen our other sister. Oh, overcoming is a daily work. Yeah. Now, with that, do you see yourself being classified, even though we're talking about the Superwoman Syndrome? Do you feel like now that everything was a false sense of state? I would go outside and do something in my yard. Okay, Barbara does yard work. I like yard work. To me, I when I just need to just clear my mind, that is my go-to. And it might be because I used to live in Alabama. Melissa says, I exercise and take a long shower. A very long shower. Yeah. And exercise is a great thing, Melissa, because again, the adrenalines, it helps you to find that happy place, and you don't and it's like, all of a sudden it's clear. Jessica White, okay, hey Jessica. Now, one of the things that I do, and even though I say God, we're, just to inject, I have a specific scripture that I will quote, when it's, I take the walk, but while I'm taking the walk, I'm also, having that moment, to do whatever, to meditate, to walk, to clear my head, to quote a scripture, or, that form of clarity to force it to clear my mind. And then I'm able to see better and to be better. But then the thing that we women love to do or have to do is to talk. But we can't talk to everybody, but I definitely will talk to someone and that I'm very close to, and just say, hey, I want to talk this out. I want you to give me feedback and tell me, am I looking at it from this perspective or that perspective, and then go from there. Elizabeth says this type of forum is going to help us a lot, where we can discuss issues with others. That is no way we'll be judged. Yeah, right, Liz. Exactly. This is exactly there, and you're not alone. And I wish that I would have had that years ago when I first came here, especially when I first came here, because I didn't know anybody, and I didn't have the support and the help I needed, and I tried to be everything to everybody. Jessica says, going back to last night, finding that Jessica, yay, Jessica, from way back when was key. Yes, my fitness regime has helped me to escape. I found that there are so many more people. Like, I'm gonna tell you something, Jessica. You put a photo up, and I would not have ever. If someone have asked me to describe you, I wouldn't have ever put that together. But when you put that picture up, it told such a phenomenal story of your strength. You correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know you that well. I just, through Angela, got the pleasure of taking your Zumba class. Hey guys, Jessica is a Zumba instructor at Drew Wellness Park. And you would, every Wednesday night, I try to get into those Wednesday nights, and I missed the past two. But it's fun. It's exciting, engaging. And you know, and she has that energy. And she has that love. You can tell she has a love because she, you know, she's very intense, and she, you know, and she just pulls you in. But she put a before and after picture up. And I don't know Jessica's story, so I'm not trying to tell it. But from what I projected and the energy that I've connected with her, you know, you can see that she made major transformations. And and 2 daughters, am I correct, Jessica? She has 2 daughters. They're beautiful. But yeah, I could see that major change, and I could see you when we did that mirror, you know, reconnecting back with that person. Because even though we're going through transformation, because our life should be changing, and we should be engaged, you know, building each and every day. But don't forget the heart of that footloose and fancy free person that you used to be. Definitely, I miss you. I draw the energy from the people. Yeah, that's what I do. This forum here, I connect with people, and I relate, and I have fun, and it's great. And so you have a wonderful platform. Don't you know? Let's knock it out. You're gonna do some great things. 2 others, just okay, but wow. Okay. Everything's popping. Everything seems to be popping up at the same time. So we're just going through a mode. But yeah, we need to remember to reflect. And I guess I think though we need to get you some pointers, and then also chime in with suggestions. Even though I'm making suggestions, some of mine is based off of research, and then some of the things that I say is just based off of trial and error as a woman. Remember, adulting. We're learning to adult. even at you know, this stage of life, we're still learning to adult. And so let's transition over to how do we find that happy place, and how do we find that balance, that life balance that keep us to the point where we are not trying to be Superwoman. You know, let's tag into that. What are some things, or what are some committed things that you can do for yourself that that will cause you not to fall into the category? Not just using the word no, but other things. Because see, remember what we always said in the past, through the past segments, is you have to create a form of boundary. So what is your boundary that will help you in making certain that you don't become overwhelmed? You don't have to deal with or succumb to depression. If you can't get out and walk and exercise and Zumba, you know, what else can you do? That's what we need to focus on. What else can you do that will help you to have that clarity, not develop any form of hypertension, or you know, so no form of stress, no form of any form of health issues, you know, none of those things. But still be functional. Now. Because what I'm not saying is just go and never do anything. But what we have to think about is, how do we still be relevant? How do we still be relevant to ourselves, relevant to our responsibilities, but still have that balance till we can just say, you know, it's time for me to stop. It's time for me to. And ladies, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share with you one of the things that I did last year. And I was pushing myself so much. I had this one class, Spanish class, and this teacher was so intense. I pushed, and I was stressed out so bad over this one woman, and the way that she was drilling us with our assignments, which was ridiculous. And I pushed myself because I'm such an overachiever. And I just pushed myself, staying up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Then, you know, going down for about two minutes. And, yeah, Barbara, you know, and then get up within 3 hours, 4 hours, and then back at it again until my daughters had to rush me to the hospital. My blood pressure got up to 200 and something, but they wanted to put me in the hospital. And I was like, no, I can't go to the hospital. I got a test to go. No, but my eyes were bloodshot red. I looked like one of them little cartoon characters. and I had dark features, and I overdid it. And so, and when they told me how my blood pressure was, hey friend, and how I had pushed myself, and after sitting there arguing with doctors and saying, no, I can't go in the hospital. I can't, these are the things I got to do. And when I went back in that classroom, and I just thought, are you going to let this assignment and this class put you in the hospital? Or are you going to do something? Yes, she is. Mika says, recognize that what I give and what I can give and do is enough. What I give and do is enough. That's right. As well as knowing that I don't have anything to prove. That's right. You don't. You don't. You do not have anything to prove to anybody, because, there's not even a because. You don't have to. And none of us do. Because you're a wonderful person. You're phenomenal. And, you're created. Everything that you need, everything that you are is already inside of you. You just have to believe and trust those instincts. So, trying to think of an assignment to do. I'll tell you what, tomorrow, we're good tomorrow night. I'll tell you what we're going to be doing tomorrow night. Hopefully everything will be straight. But, for those of you that will be joining us tomorrow night, I would like for you to take tomorrow and do one positive thing for yourself. Do one positive thing for yourself and make certain you implement the word no. So even if you don't physically say the word, it has to be a selfish moment that you take just for yourself. And I would like for you to share it, because see, tomorrow night is all about being positive. We're down to 10:23, so we're getting ready to close everything out. So just would like to, number one, give you guys a recap. The Superwoman Syndrome. No, we're not leaving the country as long as all right, Queen, we're not going out of the country. She wants to go to Jamaica. Let her go to Jamaica. But we're Queen Woods. We have tomorrow night we actually have planned. I'm sorry, I had a menopause moment. Time to relax my mind. Good for you, Barbara. We have to. You'll see. It actually gives you energy and oxygen and all. But tomorrow night we're doing Elizabeth Davis Poetry Night. Friday night is Elizabeth Davis, positive words in poetry. Positive words in poetry. So basically, everyone that will be joining us tomorrow, we do invite you back. We encourage you to come prepared. Either email me, text me, or whatever, with your favorite quote, your favorite inspirational message, whatever you use to keep you positive, to help keep the energy that you need going. It can be a poem, it can be a personal quote, it can be Queen Wood says she's learned to vent in a positive manner. That's a good thing. Long as you get it out. Long as you get it out. But yes, tomorrow night we're going to be having poetry night, and so we would love for you to join us. And so before we get started, I would like for you all to point out the one thing that you did for yourself, one positive thing that you did, that you're going to do for yourself, and come back and report to us about it. Let us know, how did that make you feel? I want you to be focused on those inner instincts. Now, even though I'm asking you to do this, let me put a little cap on it. It cannot be something that you normally do, like go out to lunch or get your nails done, your hair done, your makeup. No. It has to be one intentional thing that you do just for yourself, nobody else, and then come back and report to us on it, and then we'll cap on some positive music. I believe my team has put together some not Erica Badu. I can see the young lady's name. Mika Renee chime in as to Lauryn Hill. That's who it is. I'm about to tell them to chime in and tell me who they came up with. But basically, we're going to be playing Lauryn Hill, and we're going to keep it a little bit low, a little bit monotoned, and we're going to have the whole entire series. And so we're going to focus on positive quotes, positive words, and let's also throw in some of those positive sayings from our mom, even, and keep them lifted up, and talk about some of the things that they used to say that helped get them through as well. So that will be what we will be doing tomorrow. And just to let you guys know, as far as with us, we are going to be having a workshop in Alabama. We're so proud of that one. I haven't pushed it as much, and stuff, but I'm about to get started pushing that one a lot. And let me see what else. I think that's about it. And I know I'm leaving a lot of stuff out, but I've been having to slow down because of some other responsibilities, but making time for this, because even though, like last night, even though we were having all the technical difficulties and trying to get everything back in sync, so many people were still reaching out after the segment. So many people were still inboxing and getting the phone calls. So to me, I don't take that lightly. It's a big responsibility, and I'm thankful that you all entrust me and my team to be here for you, and to use this community, as Liz say, a place where we can all support one another and give us, each of us, the strength that we need to help us to go out and stand strong just for one more day. So I thank you guys for joining us with tonight's topic, the Superwoman Syndrome. I look forward to you all joining us tomorrow night for Elizabeth Hall Poetry Night. And so we will see each other again tomorrow at 9:30. Now remember, be positive, encourage someone, be respectful, and remember that our Heavenly Father loves you, and so do I. Good night, ladies.